I know people talk about unbeatable texture. This is unbeatable sound. Hey everyone, Jordan here from ThatCarLife, and today we're going to be doing a POV drive on my Nissan Silvia S15, and I'm going to be showing you guys what it's like to drive an S15. I'm going to be fully honest and tell you guys the good and the bad when it comes to driving an S15 on the street, and we're going to do a POV as well so you guys can get the full experience to see exactly what it's like. But before we get into that, I'll give you guys a quick walk around on the S15 for any of you guys that are new to my channel. This is my 2001 Nissan Silvia S15 Spec R. Engine wise, it's pretty much stock. Like, we've got a few bolt-ons to make it a little bit more peppier and obviously make it sound better too. So we've got a stainless manifold, we've got a full front mount intercooler, and we also have a boost controller, and we're running 14 PSI. So it does make it sound a lot better. Also can't forget the cold air intake as well to give it that really good dosage, along with a blocked off blower valve. That's really what you need to get that good dose and good flutter. So this thing definitely makes all the right sounds, and you guys will hear that in this video too. And exterior wise, we've got a Vertex front bumper on the S15, which I really like. It's honestly one of my favorite bumpers for a S15. We have the factory Spec R side skirts, but yeah, I've got these flow designs, extensions, and winglets on the car as well, and these were color matched and installed by Dusky Customs, and that's the side skirts, and the rear have it as well. And we also have a 326 wing on the car, which makes it, you know, a bit more aggressive. So as you can see, this is what the rear of the car looks like. And yeah, I got those extensions just to kind of bring the body line out to match the rear spoiler, because as you can see, the 326 wing, it's a pretty big wing, so it comes out. So that's why I got these extensions and winglets, just to kind of match the body line of the spoiler. Oh yeah, and I've also got a Origin V2 rear roof spoiler as well. And for wheels, we've got some Rep Work Emotion T7Rs. I've had these for a couple years now. I'm thinking about maybe changing them and going for some deep dish wheels, but yeah, I'm not too sure. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, if I should, you know, keep these white concave wheels or if I should go back to the deep dish days. All right, so that was a quick overview on the mods that I've done to my S15. So what we'll do now, we'll slap the GoPro on my head, we'll do a POV, and I'll show you guys exactly what it's like to drive one of these things on the street. All right, so here we are, we're driving, we've got ThatCarLife support in the front seat, and yeah, I'll give you guys a honest review on what it's like to actually drive a Nissan Silvia S15. So as you guys can see, it's starting to sprinkle, so the weather in Sydney has just been terrible for the past couple of weeks, so I haven't really been able to film a proper video, which is why I haven't uploaded in like over a week. So yeah, I apologize for the delay, guys, but yeah, it's just really hard to film car content when it's raining. But yeah, today it's like kind of just sprinkling, it's not raining too bad, so yeah, I thought we'll just push through it and do a video anyway. That dose and flutter will never get old. But when it comes to the cabin and the interior of the S15 Silvia, I've said this before in a few of my videos, but it's genuinely way ahead of its time. Like, the fact that this car actually came out in the 90s and early 2000s is literally insane. So I did daily drive this car for quite a few years, and from that experience, I can tell you that daily driving this car, the interior, everything's exactly where you need it to be. It's nice and comfortable. It's a lot more modern than what you'd expect the interior to be for a 90s car. The vents for the aircon are in an awesome spot. You always feel nice and cool, nice and warm in winter. And everything's exactly where you need it. You know, all the door controls and the mirror, everything's right here, right on your hand. Everything's in like a convenient location. Overall, it's really just comfortable to be in. Like, the seats of the S15 as well are really nice, really sporty, and it just tucks you in. Like, for a factory seat, they did a really good job on that design. And an awesome thing about driving an S15, especially a stock S15 or pretty much close to stock like mine, is it's very comfortable and smooth to drive on the road. But when you have big power in your S15 or pretty much any car, it does kind of get rid of that reliability and I guess comfort from your everyday driving. But when you have a stockish S15, it's really easy to just put it in 5th or 6th gear just like this, keep it nice and quiet, nice and smooth, and just cruise and enjoy the drive just like this and relax. But the cool thing is you have the option to, you know, drop it down a gear and really open this thing up and hear all the awesome sounds just like this. The dose, backfire, everything, it's just awesome. It makes all the right sounds. But yeah, you can kind of have the best of both worlds, you know, like if you wanted to daily this, keep it nice and quiet like this, and yeah, you can still have a bit of fun. bit of sounds just like that. I definitely wouldn't recommend going too crazy on the exhaust setup. I had this thing straight piped for like 3 years and it was definitely way too much. I've currently like just got a resonator in this thing only, and I think it's just enough. Oh, that was a flame. I could feel that. When you're driving an S15, you can probably tell the fun factor is just off the charts. Like, it always puts a smile on your face, even when it's pretty much stock as well. Like, this thing just pretty much has basic bolt-on mods to get it sounding nice. It honestly isn't really that fast. Like, it's peppy, but it's nowhere near what, you know, a big power car would be. But honestly, you don't really need to have big power in an S15 to put a smile on your face. Like, I've had the car now for 6 years with the same power mods, and honestly, every time I get in this car, it still never fails to put a big smile on my face, and I always have such a good time. And that's 6 years of the same setup. Like, look at this. It's honestly just so much fun. But look, don't get me wrong, having big power is definitely a lot of fun as well, and I think I'm actually ready for that jump in power as well, because as I said, it's been 6 years. But I guess the fact that this car in its stock form is so fun, it's probably why I've been able to wait so long with this amount of power. But I'll show you guys when we take off from the lights. Like, it does have a lot of pep down low. It's really snappy. It's just when you get into the higher speed, higher revs, you feel it kind of dying off. But yeah, down low, you do get that initial snap and kick, which I'll show you guys. It's pretty responsive, this T28 turbo. But yeah, very, very snappy, very responsive. It's just that initial kick when it gets onto boost, you really feel it. It feels amazing. And that dose when you hit boost, unbeatable. I know people talk about unbeatable texture. This is unbeatable sound. So much fun. 110% guys. Fun factor when you drive an S15, off the chart. So much fun to drive. Something I should probably also talk about when you're driving an S15 on the street is a lot of you guys might be worried about the car being too low and, you know, not being able to drive in certain areas and certain places because of the car's height. That's a pretty valid point. When you're driving an S15, vast majority of the time, the car's going to be lowered. It's going to be on coilovers or springs or something like that. It's very rare to have an S15 on stock ride height. So yeah, you do need to be wary of potholes, any inconsistencies in the road if the road's higher up or something like that. I've literally almost ripped off my front bumper just because there was a piece of the road that was a bit higher than normal, and I literally smashed my front bumper because the car's that low. Some of you guys' S15s may not be that low, but it's something to keep in mind. You know, you can't really drive this thing in certain areas, to shopping centers, for example. It's very hard to go over all those little speed bumps and stuff like that in shopping centers or busy areas, or if there's speed bumps, you got to be very careful. This thing will scrape on pretty much any speed bump that you go over, so that does kind of affect the drivability, you know, not being able to take it to certain places just because simply it's going to scrape or you can't fit over speed bumps or into driveways. It is something that you got to keep in mind when it comes to drivability. But at the end of the day, when the car's this fun to drive and sounds this awesome, it's kind of a trade-off that I guess most people are happy to live with, including me. That thing's loud. What the heck? We're just having fun with this ute. I know nothing about four-wheel drive, so someone in the comments let me know what that is. I think it's a Land Cruiser, I'm not sure. I think I can see some cops up there. It's like a police paddy wagon. That's probably something else I should talk about. The attention from cops when you're driving a car like a Nissan Silvia S15. Honestly, over the years, I haven't really had, like, knock on wood, that much bad luck with cops. Like, I've been pulled over by highway patrol before, general duties, like the cops that are up there as well. Most of the time, if you have a good attitude and you're polite and respectful to the cops, and if you have a clean record as well, it does help, it goes a long way. Most of the time, the cops here are pretty chill. Obviously, you can still get a cop that's having a bad day and just throw the book at you. Most of the time with police, if you're respectful, you know, you have a good attitude, they treat you with respect too. Unless, of course, you know, you're like speeding, doing a burnout, whatever, and you get pulled over. Different story. It'd be kind of hard to get out of that. But yeah, overall, if you're respectful with cops, you shouldn't have too many problems. I probably can't say the same if you're on your P's. I think if you're on your P's driving an S15, it's pretty red hot, not gonna lie. I think most cops would see that and just pull you over instantly, even though it is legal. But yeah, it is a bit red hot. As a fully licensed driver in an S15, I think it's a bit of a different experience with cops compared to, you know, if you're driving on your P's. Of course, you've also got to be lucky not doing anything stupid when they're around. Like, if a cop hears this dose like this and you're right next to him, I guess you'll probably get pulled over. It's also luck at the same time, I guess. Oof. Another thing to mention with an S15 on what it's like to drive, these things kick out very, very easily, right? These cars are so easy to drift and kick out, which makes it honestly pretty fun, but also pretty dangerous at the same time. So if you're not experienced at driving a rear-wheel drive car or a turbo car at that, honestly, it's pretty dangerous. So I definitely recommend taking this thing to like a wet skid pan event. If you're in Sydney, we have those at Eastern Creek, and that's what I did in this car. And honestly, it made the biggest difference in being comfortable and confident driving the car. So if it does kick out unintentionally, you have more of a chance at being in control and saving the car because you know what to do. This car, when I bought it, it was my first turbo, first rear wheel drive, and I literally just, in wet weather, I was in second gear like this, planted it, but in the wet, my goodness, the car kicked out, went like that. I was fishtailing, almost hit parked cars, and I had no idea what to do. I got very lucky I didn't crash, but it just shows that they're very dangerous when it's your first turbo, first rear wheel drive. I'll link the videos up here where I've taken my S15 to the wet skid pen. So if you guys want to see what that's like, you can check it out up here. It's definitely something to keep in mind when you're driving an S15, the fact that it can kick out at any point. A lot of you guys are probably thinking like how fun it is to dose an S15 and wondering what it's like to dose an S15. It is just the most fun and addicting thing. Like when you have a car that flutters, or an S15 that flutters especially, it's so addicting. You just want to flutter non-stop any chance you get. It literally just puts a smile on your face and everyone's faces around you. Like, just listen to this dose. So another thing that's awesome when you're driving an S15 is it's a car that does have quite a bit of street cred, as a lot of people do consider it to be a JDM legend. Yeah, a lot of people do consider the S15 to be up there as a JDM legend. So yeah, with that, there is quite a bit of street cred with driving this car around. Like, you pretty much always get thumbs up, you know, little kids saying, yeah, rev it, give it, all that good stuff. This is a car that does put a smile on a lot of other people's faces. Maybe not so much the older generation. Karens do not like the S15, all the loud noises and pops and bangs and flutters and stuff like that. Yeah, you do get a lot of Karens that give you dirties in this car, but overall, majority of people do like the sound, and yeah, you do get a lot of thumbs up and yeah, really positive reactions. And that's something that's cool with driving the S15. Like, it puts a smile on your face, but it puts a smile on other people's faces around you as well. That's something I really like about this car. And look at this view here, guys. This is Cornell. If you don't know, Cornell in Sydney. That's a nice little view there. That's Sydney Airport down there, right across the water there. It looks like it's gonna rain, as you can see from that cloud, so we're gonna try and make it back to the area in time before it rains. But yeah, I'll give you guys some, you know, raw driving experience for the drive back. Flame. Oh, she's starting to rain a little bit. Whoa. He full revved on me, that guy. This thing is just crazy responsive for a stock turbo. It's nuts. Those kids were loving it. Oh, that sounded sick. This thing's so addicting to flutter. When you drive an S15, really this is what it's like. You're just dosing the whole time. It's just endless smiles. What a car. Honestly, how does a car that's over 20 years old sound this good and go this good? Honestly, it blows my mind. Nissan was literally way ahead of their time designing and making this car. So as you guys can probably tell already, driving an S15 overall, it's just such a positive, fun experience, but a big downside to driving an S15 is having to think about where you drive it and where you park it, because in this day and age, the S15 Silvia has become really sought after, you know, because the supply of the S15 is down here and the demand is up here. So yeah, the prices of the S15s have shot up, like they're 30, 40, even 50 grand in Australia, which is literally nuts, because a few years ago you could get these cars for 15 grand or less. So the prices have gone through the roof. The amount of S15s that are getting stolen is crazy as well. So yeah, it's something to keep in mind when you're driving it. That does kind of stay in the back of your head, you know, you're worried about parking it in certain places. You don't want the car to get damaged or hit or broken into or stolen. So I'm sure over the years it's always been a worry with these kind of cars, parking it somewhere if someone's going to damage it. But now that the prices are this high, it's just even more of a worry and stress when you're driving this car. If something happens to it, it's just a lot more expensive. And so for all of those reasons, I stopped daily driving this car, just because, you know, the price went up, it's a lot more sought after, and it's just kind of more risky taking this thing places and parking it places and parking it, you know, at work or shopping centers and this and that. It's just a lot higher risk of bad things happening to the car, which, yeah, when the prices go up and when you care about the car that much, it's just a risk that you don't really want to take, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, if you still daily drive your S15, that's totally fine. Just obviously I definitely recommend having good security in the car, you know, alarm, tracker, kill switch, all that good stuff, which every S15 owner should definitely have, just in case. But I'd say that's probably the main downside to driving an S15, but I wouldn't let that stop you from owning one and driving one. It's just due to how fun this thing is to drive and all the happiness it brings to yourself and to different people. It just makes it so worth it.
Hey
Hey guys, Future Jordan here, and I was just editing the video, and once again, forgot to do an outro. So I think the past 2 or 3 videos I've forgotten to do one, so yeah, I've got to remember to actually do an outro. But yeah, anyways, I really hope you guys enjoyed this POV video on what it's really like to drive an S15 Silvia. These cars are so much fun. Yeah, I absolutely love driving the S15. But yeah, anyways, I'll leave the video there, guys. Really hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time on That Car Life.